Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you guys are watching this. I know it has been a long time. It's been over 5 months. Actually, yesterday was 5 months since my last upload. So yeah, I'll get into that at the end of this video as to why it's been so long. But first, some exciting news about the car, the Corvette, and a few things I want to show you, talk to you about, and show you some changes I made here to the garage. So first of all, I got to get this thing out of the garage so I can get the car over here to show you what we're about to do. But we're gonna do a cold start because I had not started a car for about 5 months, which probably isn't the smartest thing, but it's gonna sound awesome when we start it up. So let's fire her up. Exactly what I expected. The car's not starting because the battery's dead. Now, I do use a battery tender every year, except I did not use it this past year. Reason being, again, we'll get into that at the end of the video, but we do have to jump the car. Now, because it's a manual, it's easy just to put it in neutral and just pull her out of the garage, pulled her right out, hooked her up to the Jetta. This car is a diesel, so I don't actually have to start it to have enough juice to go to it. That these batteries are legit in a diesel, so it should start no problem. So let's fire it up, get a good cold start, and see how she sounds. There we have it, boys. Started right up. Sounds good, of course. A little rough starting there, but what's to expect when it's been 5 months? But she's running good, and we're gonna actually pull her over here in the garage to do this video that I have planned. Those pops never get old. You guys might know what I'm doing here. From what you're seeing, I'm removing my license plate because it's a classic vehicle, but I'm upgrading to something a little bit different. That's right, people. PA antique historic vehicle. I am upgrading my car from a classic to an antique. And if you're wondering why, I'm going to get into that. But no, this is not what I chose. Long story behind that, which I will explain here very soon. Let me get this plate on here. There we go. Got my antique plate on my car now. Now, I don't know how it is in other states. I know in Pennsylvania, antique tags are totally different than classic tags. I don't know all the differences. But I will go over a few of the differences and why I decided to get this. Because, I mean, the car could have been considered an antique now for several years. Because I believe in Pennsylvania it's got to be 25 years old, maybe even 20. I think classic is 20, maybe antique's 25, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll check that, I'll look into that. But there's a few reasons why I got it, and I will get into that here very soon. Okay, so I just looked it up. Your car has to be 26 years old in Pennsylvania to be considered an antique, which my car is now proudly an antique car. But the reason that I decided to get antique tags is because, for one, you no longer have to get your car inspected. And now in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania requires you to get your car inspected once a year. They check, your lights, your brakes, your suspension, wheels, tires, anything that's considered critical, I guess. And if something has failed, even if a light bulb's out, they will actually fail the inspection. Then you have to fix whatever it is to be able to get it inspected again. And until your inspection is up to date, then you can't drive your car legally. As you'll see on here, my inspection ran out in October of 2021. The reason I did not get it inspected is because I told you guys videos ago, that I was going to be doing something this winter to my car that was going to allow me to be able to pass inspection this year. And what that was is I mentioned to you guys a couple years ago, and a lot of you guys know that my steering wheel has this famous C4 wobble to it. Now, I bought the car like this 13 years ago in 2009, and it has never caused me a problem. It never causes any issues when you're driving down the road. But the person who inspected my vehicle has been the same person to inspect it every year that I've had the car. And last year he told me, well, sorry, I guess it was October 2020, he told me that I'm not going to pass it next year until you fix the steering wheel. So my goal was to fix it this past winter, but we had an extremely rare cold winter this year. I love winter, as you guys know, but it was like, we had weeks upon, like weeks long, like 3 or 4 weeks in a row. I can't even talk today. It's been a while since I've been on camera. Where it was like in the 20s. I know to some people that's probably nothing, but for here, that's pretty cold, and it was extremely windy. My garage was freezing, and I didn't feel like being out here because it was just way too cold. So I ended up not doing the steering wheel. So I got to thinking, what do I do? Do I still make the video? Because if I wanted to drive my car this year with the classic tags, I had to get my car inspected before I can drive it again legally, because I don't want to get pulled over and have to pay a fine. All that baloney. So with antique tags, you no longer have to get the car inspected, and your registration to allow your car to be on the road is actually permanent now. And that's the same way with classic tags. Instead of having an expiration date, it just says permanent. So you only pay it one time, and you pay for this one time. Now, I mentioned that the G3 HK is not what I chose, and this is why I said that. Whenever you fill out the form on the license plate form to fill out for the antique tags, it says it takes 8 to 10 weeks to receive your plate and new registration in the mail. 8 to 10 weeks is a long time when you really want to get something that you're looking forward to, blah, blah, blah. Finally got the plate in the mail, and it came in this envelope, and I was like, yes, my plate's finally here. I was so excited. I pulled it out, and I see G3 HK, and I'm like, what the heck is that? Because I got it personalized. When you get a plate in Pennsylvania, you can, in most states, you can personalize it. I mean, you can make whatever you want it to say. Now, you can only have 4 digits on here, whereas a normal license plate, I think, is 7. So I couldn't get, I had to be careful what I got. And what you do is you choose 3 things you want. Now, the website online on PennDOT does have an availability tool that you can type in what you want, and if it's available, it shows up green. If it's already used, it says it's in red. And my very first choice that I wanted was available. So I had been going on and I've been checking the website for a long time, like seeing like, is it still available? Is it still available? Because whenever it showed unavailable, then I would know that my plate was being made and it'd be on its way. So I get this and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I waited it's like 8 or 9 weeks, finally get the plate in the mail, and it's not what I asked for. So I'm like, what the world? Well, there's a place in Shippensburg down the road from my place that does like title work for cars and stuff. I called them and told them what was going on, and I even went back on the website and looked it up, what I wanted to get personalized, and now instead of saying available, it said reserved. So that was kind of good news for me. I was like, well, hopefully that means it's reserved for me. So I went in and I told them what was going on. They typed in the personalization that I chose. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I'll wait till it comes. And it said reserved for Jeremy, middle name, last name. And I was like, yes! So I was very happy to know that I got what I wanted. However, I always thought this was an old wives' tale or just a story, but apparently the prisoners do actually make license plates. Did not know that. But they said it's gonna be about 10 months. Months, people. Like, after Christmas until I get my plate. So I was like, okay, so I'm not gonna have the plate I wanted for this year. I gotta settle with G3 HK for the meantime. So yeah, it really sucks. But I mean, for everything else that's going on in this world, this is absolutely nothing. It'll all be better in about a year from now, a little less than a year, hopefully. So that's the story behind that. The one exciting thing about having this antique tags, I can actually remove this because, I mean, let's face it, people. Does that really look cool on a Corvette? Like, it looks terrible. Some states even have them in the center of the windshield, which looks even worse. So I'm glad it's not that way. And even like for vehicles that actually have like emissions, because in the county I live in Pennsylvania requires emissions, you have something that looks like this. So you have your inspection sticker, your emission sticker, and then for a truck you have your weight class. But like in the Corvette, I used to have these 2 stickers on the Corvette at all times. But because it was a classic, I no longer needed to get emissions, and now that it's antique, I really don't need to get emissions or inspections, so this can finally come off. I do not have a good razor blade. I have one of these plastic doodads I bought whenever I was redoing my son's room. I'm hoping it's enough to be able to get this off of here. Let's see here what it does. I started it. Looks like it might work a little bit. Yeah, it's not going to do too good. I don't have enough room here, but I got to get something else in order to take this off, because They make these stickers pretty darn tight, and plus it sits in the sun and bakes and you can't get it off. So I'm not gonna be able to do that for this video because I don't have the right tool. I have a buddy of mine who can help me out. He has the tool, and even my dad has the tool, so I can have him do it. But that sticker gets to come off, and then I'll clean it up with some good old alcohol here to make it look nice and clean and shiny. And then my car will look a lot cleaner on the front, have antique tags on the back, and that's exciting. Before I get into the reason I took such a long break on YouTube, I just want to show you guys a few things I've added to the garage since you guys last saw me. I last made a video in December, a long time ago. It was before Christmas. It was like 7 days before Christmas. My cousin, I helped him very briefly. I helped him with a little bit of things in his kitchen renovation. Helped him do some cabinets and install an oven, double wall oven. And he actually had some cabinets left over. And he's like, hey, would you happen to want these? You can have them since you helped me with my garage. I'm like, dude, I would love to have them. So I actually have some nice storage in my garage now. In my garage. That's nice and hidden. I had things in here that I used to just have sitting on that shelf back there. And now it's no longer cluttered like it was. And then there's also another shelf over here that I keep like a lot of like liquids in, WD-40, stuff like that, brake fluid, engine from my lawnmower, my manuals, and my super clean up there. But my garage definitely looks a lot better now. Right now it's kind of cluttered because I have some recliners out here, which this recliner here actually came with the house. We're gonna be getting rid of that one. That was my grandmother's. She passed away 2 years ago. I'm keeping that out here, and I've actually used it quite a bit. I know I've been married now for 9.5 years. In December will be 10, and I finally got the last of the last things out of my bedrooms. It was all stuff that was like on the wall, and also I cleaned out my office at my job since I'm now working from home permanently. So as you can see here, this was from the Corvettes of Carlisle in 2019. Got that hanging here. This was also in my office. I got that hanging here now. When I was a younger kid, I used to like put models together. They weren't Corvette models. They were just anything I wanted. But I do have some Corvette models, but I brought them all home here now. They are now on my shelf in my garage. As you can see, this here was from a subscriber, my good buddy Dave. Here's an old engine. And also got some up here. Piece of junk Subaru, Mercedes, and a truck. And then the last of them are over here. This truck here is hurting a little bit. But yeah, so I got a few things here in the garage. Also, this clock was in my office. And then also, this was also in my office. I used to have this in my bedroom when I was a lot younger. It only goes up to 2006. But these are hard to find, the new ones. And I wish I had a new one because it would have a lot more years on it. It only goes up to 2006, of course. But that's the differences I have here now. I also got a saw in my garage, adding more space. I know you guys probably don't care about that crap, and I understand that. So, getting into where I've been, why I have not been recording lately. Let me have a seat here. I'm going to try to keep this short for you guys because a lot of you probably will not care, and I understand. But I had plans of making videos this whole entire winter long. But like I said, it was really cold this winter, and the garage was freezing. It was down in the 20s for weeks on end. And for me, for here, especially with the wind, it was just freezing. So I just didn't make videos. And honestly, I want to be very honest with you guys because that's the kind of person I am. I lost a lot of interest, drive, excitement about making videos on YouTube. I think it's because the last couple I put up just didn't do very well. And whenever you're a YouTuber, if you're not getting the views, it kind of makes you not want to keep posting because it's a lot of work to make videos. It's a lot of work to edit videos. It takes a lot of time. I have a family with 2 kids, and it just takes a lot of time away from them. So if you're going to do all that, I want to make it worth it. So I haven't been making videos, and I'm sorry about that. I have had a lot of you reach out to me via Instagram, email, even some phone calls, wanting to know like if I was okay, if everything was all right with the family. Everything's been fine. We've all been doing great, minus the price of gas. But I just wasn't making videos because I had no interest in it at all. I was telling everyone that would ask me, I was like, I honestly have no interest to make a video right now. I do have a list on my phone of different things I want to make videos about, but they all take some time or some research for me to figure out how to do what I got to do, and I honestly just don't want to do it. Call me lazy, I don't care. I just don't feel like doing it. One thing about YouTube that is not a bad thing, but I found it kind of frustrating at the same time, is because my car is now like out in the public and people know about it, people who watch the channel, they know what's wrong with the car and what needs fixed on the car. And as I do videos not fixing those things, people will call you out and want to know why you're not fixing the things, or like, why don't you get off your lazy butt and do it? Just fix it. Or you don't care about your car. Why don't you sell it to someone who likes it? None of that's true. I have a life outside of the car, outside of YouTube. I have 2 other vehicles I take care of, and I have a family that I love to death with 2 young kids. And this car is not a priority. And I will say that again, this car is not a priority in my life. It used to be before I was married. Like, this was my everything. This is all I cared about. It's all I put my money into. That's all I cared about, was that car. When you have a family, and people who have a family, some of them might agree that my family is way more important than the car. Now, I'm not neglecting the car. I'm not like just gonna let the tires go to waste or the wheels look like crap. I definitely will keep it clean, keep it nice, fix things that needs fixed. As far as engine stuff, the car is great. There's nothing wrong with it. The radio doesn't work, of course, like I've said. The steering wheel wobbles, stuff like that. But my wife and I, back in October, she got a new job. We sold her vehicle because we didn't need it anymore since I was working from home. And since we got married in 2012, we have been in debt our entire marriage. I carried a lot of debt over from that car whenever I was younger, that I had out on loans and stuff like that, things I bought, credit cards, not a lot, just like 1 credit card, but it doesn't matter. We've had this lump sum of debt for our entire marriage, and our one consolidation loan is like $30,000. Plus we had new windows put in our house that needed replaced. We redid my son's bedroom, and all that stuff took money. But my wife and I, back in October, when she took this new job, she was making a lot more money than her last job. We decided to really, really buckle down, and we did a financial piece with Dave Ramsey. It's a financial program that you can do. It's fantastic. Changed our lives. And we have really been putting everything we can towards debt. I mean, every extra penny we can. My wife's entire paycheck goes right towards debt, and anything extra from my check that we can put in will go right towards debt. And I'm very happy to announce that since last October, which was only 5, 6, 7 months ago, we've paid off over $20,000 of debt. That is phenomenal, because most people, and I was right there with them. Even a year ago, I was right there with you. Do not do that. They pay the minimum payments. They'll have, shut up, Siri. They'll pay the minimum payments, and they'll have these loans for 20 some years. Our window loans for our house were 10-year loans. We paid it off in a year and a half. We're very happy. We're very proud of ourselves for being able to finally do this. It's been 9.5 years of not doing that. So I've not been putting any money towards the car. And to be honest with you guys, on YouTube, sorry I'm talking so much. If you don't like this part, you can turn it off. But to be honest with you guys, when you are a YouTuber, you get paid every month on the 21st of every month. And if you don't make at least $100 the past month, you don't get paid. Now it rolls over to the next payment, but like the last 2 months, I haven't gotten paid at all. So the channel's not, and I haven't made any videos, which I'm not complaining about. I'm just stating the facts. Like, I've not had any extra money to do anything with this car. So that's the reason I have not been doing a lot of uploading lately. Yes, now that it is springtime and summertime, I really don't have any excuses anymore as far as like weather and stuff like that. So I do plan on making a lot of the videos that I do have written down on my phone to do. But it's not going to be weekly uploads like I did 2 years ago. I don't know how I did that. Well, see, back then I had more stuff to talk about because you guys didn't know the car at all. I could talk about things I liked, things I didn't like, problems, issues, blah, blah, blah. But that is that. So with that said, as I said earlier, I am going to be able to get my sticker off the windshield. We now have antique tags. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, one of the antique tags, you're not technically supposed to drive more than once a week. You're not supposed to drive past nighttime. Now apparently that's not fully true. Apparently if it has like stock headlights that actually work like mine does, I guess you're allowed to. Some people think you're not allowed to drive past dark. I don't really know the exact rule. I just know that it's something about driving past dark. I never drive past dark. The headlights in my car are still the original headlights I've had since I bought the car, which is crazy to think about, type of 13 years, because I never drive with the headlights, hardly ever. So yeah. Also, price of gas right now, a little expensive. my little diesel Jetta out there just got fuel about an hour ago. It was $90 to fill up, whereas when I bought it back in 2019, it cost me $46. So it's exactly double what it was. It was $3.15 when I got my first tank of fuel on October 1st of 2019 in that car. Not that way now. I just paid $6.29 a little bit ago. So it's gonna be very expensive to put fuel in this baby this year. Katie is might not be driven as much as she was, but a lot of videos I have planned to do will be me in here doing stuff to the car. And I wanted to also ask, I've had a couple people, close friends, tell me to ask you guys this. What would you guys like to see on my channel? I'm not one to go out and do crazy stuff with the car. I'm not going out and doing drag racing, all that baloney. I'm not gonna drive the car through the field like Street Speed does. Not my thing. I'm not gonna ramp it. But what kind of stuff interests you? What kind of stuff do you guys want me to see do to my car? That's of course not outrageously expensive. What kind of things would draw you closer to the channel, or maybe enjoy my channel a little bit more? I do have a lot of really good, solid followers that support me, email me, keep up with me, ask how I'm doing. I really appreciate that. It means the world to me that you guys care enough to ask. But I also want to, I don't want you to be here because you like me. I mean, I'm glad you do, but I want you guys to also like the stuff you're seeing me do to the car. So if there's anything you want to see me do, please let me know. I will be very happy to do so. So if you guys have the information, please let that in the comments below. So if you guys did enjoy seeing something back on the channel for the first time in a long time, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys did not like this video, give it a thumbs up anyways. Please subscribe. Take care now. See you later. Bye. All right. What do you guys think about that? Corvette parking only. All others will be towed and crushed. I've seen lots of signs, in the past, like Corvette parking only, all others will be towed. Never saw one that said always be towed and crushed. That was hilarious. I did not buy this for myself. Actually, a good friend of mine got it for me for my birthday last month. So it is on my garage. It's not perfectly centered because of the ridges and stuff that were in there. I wasn't able to find a good place to attach it, so it's not perfectly centered. But I like it. Looks pretty awesome.